What would be some of those curses? What are some things that we can't do to get out of as a nation of people? Read the next verse. Watch this.
Curse shall not be in the city.
So we're cursing the city. Go ahead.
Curse shall not be in the field. And
we're cursing the fields. The fields will be these country towns that we're in. Swainsboro, Vidalia, the outskirts of Savannah, Dublin. The city will be Atlanta, New York. Those major cities. Where do we live? Where do we live in the major cities? Like Atlanta, New York, Miami. Where do we live? Do we live good? We live in what they call projects, right? Or the hood, right? We don't live in the high rises, do we? We live in what they call the inner city. And out here, are we on 40 acres in the country? We on 40 acres? We got farmland, we got cattle? Nah, this is still a curse. Our living conditions are a curse. Go ahead.
Curse shall be thy basket and thy store.
Our basket and our stores goes into our businesses. Our businesses are cursed, right? Go ahead. How long have you been in business?
About 13.
Is it easy? Do you get loans easily?
I'm getting them.
Why is that? No. Read it again.
The curse shall not be thy basket and thy store.
There's a curse on you, and guess what? There's a group of people that make sure those curses stay on you. Read verse 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people.
When did that happen? Read it again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people.
When did we have children and they were taken from us and given to other people? Go ahead, keep reading.
And thy...
Who said it?
Smart.
Oh, the smart one. Go ahead.
And thine eyes shall look.
So when we were slaves, when we had children, we didn't have a say-so on those children. They were sold to whatever plantation. Go ahead.
And thine eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long.
Meaning all you could do is cry your eyes out. Go ahead.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
This is a curse. The might mean power. You didn't have power to get your children back. Go ahead.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
Read it again.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
So the fruit of our land. A lot of us know that a majority of us was already on this land, right? Correct? Y'all familiar with that? They call them Native Americans, right? Those are our people as well, right? Go ahead, read it again.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
So this land that belonged to our ancestors, guess what? It was overtaken, right? Guess what now? Everything, all the benefits of owning this land, we don't reap that. Another nation do, and it says all our labors. Some of us been working 20, 30 years. We're still in the same conditions. We don't see any benefits from our labors. Read it again.
Thy fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
That's our state now. We're a people that's oppressed. We're oppressed always. Read 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
When did we go to Egypt again with ships? Y'all in school. When did we go to Egypt? On ship. You don't know? Keep reading.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there.
So when we get where we was going, go ahead.
And there you shall be sold into your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
So the Egypt that the Bible is talking about is here. This is spiritual Egypt, right? You ever look on the back of your dollar bill? Why is there a pyramid on the back of the dollar bill? Because they know this place is spiritual Egypt. Read what you was getting. Exodus.
Right. The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 2.
Go ahead.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So Egypt, that word is synonymous with bondage or slavery. The word Egypt means it's a Greek word. It means to be bounded. So when the Lord said he's going to bring us into Egypt, he's not speaking about the literal Egypt. He's talking about this place here. And what the Bible says right here is exactly what happened. We went on ships and we were sold. As soon as we got off those ships, we were sold to Master Charleston, Master Jenkins, Master Jackson. That's how we get these last names. What's your last name? McKenna? What's your last name? Huh? Dutch? Jackson. Hit it on the head. How do we get these last names? How are we a dark-skinned people with last name Williams, Jackson? How did that happen? We were once their property. That's how they identify who you belong to or who your family belong to. And now, why do we keep these names? Get Isaiah. Why do we keep these names? Why are we not doing those searches? Who here is Christian? We got any Christians here? Okay, we got 1, 2. You Christian? As Christians, what do y'all do that we can find in the Bible? I think it's 65:15. As Christians, what do you do that you can point to me in the Bible and be like, I do this, this makes me a Christian? Jackson, what you got? Come on, man. As a Christian, what can you say? Hey, I do this, it's biblical, that makes me a Christian. So,
Pray.
huh?
Pray.
Okay, that's one. We got praying, that's one.
Obedience.
To what?
Trying to the commandment.
What commandment?
You got to try to do all of it to be a Christian. You got to do all of it.
Oh, okay. We're going to come back to that. So you're obedient to the commandments.
We got all fault shortcomings. Everybody gonna fall.
We know that. That's part of it. We know that.
The main goal is to be obedient.
Okay. So are you speaking about yourself or all Christians?
If folks gonna follow, you'll call yourself a Christian.
Okay. So what are some of the commandments that that Christians are supposed to do? We're gonna come back. What else? We got praying and being obedient to the commandments. What else? We ain't got nothing else? Hey, which did you celebrate Christmas?
Yeah, come on. I was with my family for like.
Yeah. You celebrate Jackson? Yeah. Christmas and New Year's? Yeah.
How many guys?
I didn't do nothing New Year's, but I was my family.
Okay. All right. Is that biblical?
That's all man.
Okay. Yeah. You did Christmas too? You celebrated Christmas? Yeah. What about you? You celebrated Christmas? No. Why not? Huh? I'm saying overall. So you ain't get nobody no gifts, none of that. So y'all celebrated it. You wasn't there. You just wasn't there. What about you, boss man? You celebrate Christmas?
I do it out of tradition. I don't do it out of
Okay, all right. So you got Jeremiah 10?
My man said it's about the birth of Christ.
All right, so that's what we're getting at. The religion. Here's the thing too. All of us here, we're spiritual people. Y'all heard that before. Y'all know that, right? There's something in us that always want to guide us to God. That's how God designed us. Guess who else know that? Your enemy know that. And guess what your enemy do? He provided religion for us. And he got whatever you want. You want to be a Baptist? He got that for you. You want to be a Latter-day Saint? He got that for you. You want to be a Kojic? He got it for you. Whatever your flavor of white man Jesus, that's what Christianity is, he got it for you. And the thing is, we're talking about Christmas. It's supposed to be the birthday of Christ, but we can't find that in the Bible. Can we? No. So the things that we're doing, like my brother said right there, is traditions. We're gonna stay on that topic. The things that we do is traditions.
Yeah, tradition is tradition. It's something that man did.
Exactly, right? But the things that, remember, when Christ was on the earth, he was getting on the Pharisees about tradition a lot. Some of the traditions that we do keeps us and lead us into sin. Remember, what's the first commandment? The first commandment out of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. I am the Lord your God, right? So anything that we do outside of what the Bible say, no matter what tradition it is, it puts us in that realm of putting something else above God. And we don't, and since it has family, having a good time, you're getting gifts, you're seeing people you haven't seen in a while, that have like, it gives you that warm feeling. But guess what? It's rooted in pagan and man-made traditions. Because at the end of the day, it's all the same thing, right? You gotta put some of us put the tree in our house, we decorate it, and we put gifts under the tree. All of those things are symbolic to you bowing down to that tree. And we don't think it's no big deal, but God said it's a big deal. Watch this right here. Some of y'all heard this before. Go ahead.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 1. Hear the word which the Lord has spoken to you, O house of Israel. Thus said the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. So here's the key right here. God is letting us know whatever we're about to learn about, whatever we're about to read about is the way of the heathen, meaning the word heathen means nations. So whatever the other nations do, us as a people, we were not supposed to follow them. Remember, we're supposed to be separate from the other nations of the world. Go ahead. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them.
So the signs of the heavens, there's other nations that worship the signs of the heavens, the sun, the moon, the stars. They worship those things because they don't have an understanding of it. Go ahead.
For the customs of the people are vain.
So God say their tradition, their customs, they're vain, they're nothing, they're lies. Go ahead.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
What does one do?
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with an axe.
Go ahead.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
What does this tradition sound like? Y'all heard that, right? What does it sound like? Read it again. They cut the tree where?
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
So there's a tradition where people cut trees from a forest. Go ahead.
The work of the hands of the workmen with an axe.
With an axe. Go ahead.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
After they cut that tree, they get it, they deck it, meaning decorate it with silver and gold. What is this sounding like so far? Christmas tree, right? But this is in Jeremiah. This is Babylonian times. So it's showing us whatever we think we're celebrating in Christmas, it has ties to a Babylonian tradition.
That's right.
Go ahead.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not.
Nowadays we got tree stands. Go ahead.
They are upright as a palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born.
Meaning the tree has to be carried. It don't talk, it don't walk. Go ahead.
Because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good.
So the foundation of Christmas is pagan. God says it's a custom of another nation, of other nations. God tells us not to do it. And go to Luke chapter 2. And Christ is not born in the wintertime. There's no scripture that tells us Christ is born December 25th. Right? You said you celebrated Christmas? Yeah? Luke 2:42. Go ahead.
The book of Luke, chapter 2 and verse 42.
How you doing, family? How y'all doing? Y'all celebrated Christmas?
Yeah.
Is it the birth of Jesus Christ?
Hello.
Is it the birth of Jesus Christ?
That's what they say.
Huh?
That's what they say.
What does the Bible say? Huh? But every year we celebrate.
It's just a tradition that some people started back in the day, and that's what people continue to do. I really don't believe it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because I never read in the Bible.
Okay, that's what we getting at. These traditions that we can't find in the Bible, we should stop doing because it's leading us to idolatry. Brother man, right? Y'all heard him, right? Christmas, the birth of Jesus Christ, everybody says it's December 25th, but it's not. And if it is, where in the scriptures does it say he was born December 25th? He said it's the tradition of man that's been passed down to us and that we keep now. And I agree. And I agree because those traditions keep us in sin. Go ahead, read.
The book of Luke, chapter 2 and verse 42.
Yeah.
And when he was 12 years old.
So this is Jesus right here. It's going to give us a clue when Jesus' birthday is. Okay. So it says when he was 12 years old.
They went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. And when they had fulfilled the days as they returned, the child Jesus tarried behind them in Jerusalem. And Joseph and his mother knew not of it.
Okay.
But they, supposing him to have been in the company, went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinfolk and acquaintance.
Start up at 40.
Verse 40. And the child grew and waxed strong in spirit.
Go ahead.
Filled with the wisdom and grace of God was upon him.
Go ahead.
Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover.
When is Passover? Passover is a feast that we're supposed to celebrate. But when around what time is Passover? Is it December? Yeah. Spring. Spring. So yes. Okay. Correct. There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Because he died and rose the same time. Same time. No. Remember when Jesus walked the earth, right? When Jesus was alive, who was ruling around that time? What group of people was ruling? Who occupied Jerusalem? No, the Romans. Remember, the Romans. So guess what calendar they was following that time? The Roman calendar, right? they had the months was 12, 13 based on the leap year or whatever, but the days are the same. The concept of the year is the same, right? So the year for the Jews start in spring. All right, go ahead, read again. So Passover is springtime. Go ahead.
And the child
regardless of what calendar we follow or what calendar the rulers of the world push out, Passover is still spring. Whether we call it April or March, it's still going to be around springtime. And there's ways for us to calculate that with the Bible and with the moon. And we'll get to that in a second. Go ahead.
Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the Feast of Passover.
So every year, all the Israelites are supposed to come back to Jerusalem to celebrate Passover. Remember, 3 times a year, they're supposed to go back to Passover, to Jerusalem. Go ahead.
And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast.
So if he's turning 12 at Passover, around what time is he born? If you turn 12 in springtime, when's your birthday? In the springtime. So Jesus' birthday is in the springtime, around Passover. And it didn't give us a specific date. It just says his family was traveling to Jerusalem. It don't give us a specific date. But it says he was turning 12 when his family was traveling to go celebrate Passover. So we know his birthday is not in the winter or December time. It's got to be around Passover time, which is spring.
I really want to try to do the Easter thing. It's really supposed to be his birth.
Right, but Easter is just remember, get Romans 10. Romans 10.
It's still man doing. They're trying to put a date on it.
Here's the thing. Remember I said we're a spiritual people, right? We have things we're supposed to celebrate. And your spirit knows that. Guess what they do? They give you something to celebrate around those same time. So your spirit knows you're supposed to be celebrating Passover. Guess what they give you? Easter. There's a feast you're supposed to celebrate in the winter time. Guess what? They give you Christmas. Go ahead, read that. Should be around like verse 3 or something like that. Verse 3. Verse 3.
The book of Romans, chapter 10 and verse 3. For they being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness,
Go ahead.
have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God.
Y'all hear that, right? Read it again for the brothers. Read it again from the top.
Romans chapter 10 and verse 3. For they being ignorant of God's righteousness.
So right now we're ignorant of God's righteousness, meaning everything that God wants us to do, we're not fully aware of. That's why we're celebrating Christmas and Easter, because we're not fully aware that those are pagan traditions. Go ahead.
And going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God.
How do we go and establish our own righteousness? We have Sunday church. In the Bible, it says the 7th day is the holy day. But Roman Catholicism established Sunday, and since we was fed that lie, we just go along with it. Go ahead.
For Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone that believes.
Go ahead.
For Moses describes the righteousness which is of the law, that the man which doeth these things shall live by them.
Go ahead.
But the righteousness which is of faith speaketh on this wise. Say not in thy heart, who shall ascend into heaven? That is to bring Christ down from above. Or who shall descend into the deep? That is to bring up Christ again from the dead. So we, as a people, our spirit have that yearning to get close to our Maker or the Most High.
the creator. We have that in our spirit to seek him out. That's why when things are going bad, guess what we do? We turn to God, and that's in the scriptures. Get that. No, give me 5. Is it not Hosea? Hosea 5? It's not Hosea 5. Hosea 5? Hosea 5:15? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
The book of Hosea, chapter 5 and verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
So this is the Most High God. Right now, we're not connected to God. God is separated. Go ahead.
I will go and return to my place until they acknowledge their offense and seek my face.
Go ahead.
In their affliction, they will seek me early.
That's the point we got to get to now. We got to know that the conditions that we're in, we're being afflicted. And we got to learn and to seek God. All right? So we got to do away with religion and anything that's outside the Bible. Simple things like Christmas, Easter, celebrating New Year's. We're worshiping a god called Janus we have no idea about. We got to stop these things and turn back to God.
So what do we supposed to celebrate? We're not celebrating those things.
We got Passover. We got the Feast of Dedication. We got Tabernacles. We got new moons, which signify the beginning of every month. You notice the moons shine bright every 30 or so days, right? Well, you think God just did that for no reason? There's a reason for that. We're supposed to have a feast, meaning a party, every 30 days to celebrate the beginning of a new month. And we also Passover. That's the beginning of our years. So they have January 1st is the new year. No, that's why it's what April 1st is usually called what?
April Fool's.
Guess what? They got the people that's supposed to be celebrating the New Year's, they celebrate in January. Now they're fools because they don't know March, April is their beginning of their year. That's what the Bible said. The white man make his feasts into our mockeries. They mock us and we don't know. You know, Christmas is a mockery, right? You know that? Christmas is a mockery. Get Revelations 11 and 10. Let me show you. Guess what they was doing in Christmas time? Guess who they was sending? Guess who was the gift? You was the gift. They used to package you up, put you in a little box, and send you down to Charleston Plantation as a gift. Go ahead, read that.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 10. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another.
So read it from the top again.
And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them.
There's a group of people that rejoice over us. When did that happen? When they beat us in war and capture us as slaves. That's what happened. The white men didn't just come into Africa. It was wars that was being fought. They conquered us, and now we became prisoner of war, slaves. Go ahead.
They shall rejoice over them and make merry.
How did they make merry? They started a tradition called Christmas. They say it's the birth of Christ. That's just a facade. The real celebration of Christmas is we finally conquered these niggas.
That's right.
Now we're triumphant over them. Go ahead.
And shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them.
At one point in time, we used to torment the white people. We used to torment them. They're our sworn enemies, but we don't know that. Some of us can kind of peep game, see how they treat us, see how they fashion different counties and stuff, see how they rule. We can peep. All right, these people, they always plotting something. They're definitely against us. We can kind of peep that. Okay?
After 3 days and a half.
Read the bottom part again.
Because these two prophets tormented them that dwelled on the earth. After 3 days and a half,
that's 350 years. Go ahead.
the spirit of life from God entered into them.
So that's how we're able to read and understand this Bible plainly. The Spirit of God entered into us. So Christmas is a mockery. Easter is a mockery. All their feast days are mockery. They make jokes about us, call us Simbos, coons, niggas. All of those things are a mockery over us because they know they are ruling and oppressing God's chosen people. And their job is to keep you in sin. So if you don't celebrate Passover, you're in sin. You don't celebrate the new moon, you're in sin. You don't celebrate the Sabbath day, you're in sin. You celebrate your birthday, you put yourself above God that day, you're in sin. So the nations, all they know is they got to keep you in sin. As long as you're in sin, you have no power from the Most High. God is not fighting for you as long as you're in sin. So that's the goal. Keep you in sin, feed you Christmas, Easter, religion, Christianity, Valentine's Day. They feed you all these things, you remain in sin. Because those are things God told you to stay away from. Don't do what the other nations do. But as long as we do them, we're going to stay at the bottom. We're never going to rise. Go ahead. But it's prophesied we're going to rise. It's like it's a fixed fight. We just got to wake up and start playing our role in that fight. Go ahead. What you got?
Ecclesiastes.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon earth.
Now that's the role that's been flipped. He said, I've seen what?
I've seen servants upon horses.
He said, this is King David speaking here, by the way. He said, for some reason, I see the servants on the horse and the rulers walking. Read it again.
I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
We're the princes. We're the princes of God. We're supposed to be the gods on this earth. But we lost that power. Go to Psalms 82. Now we're the princes that's just walking the earth. We don't have that power. We lost that power. Start at verse 5. Psalms 82, verse 5. Watch this.
The book of Psalms, chapter 82 and verse 5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness.
As long as you're African American, black man, Haitian, Jamaican, you're walking in darkness. You're not tapped into who you really are. Go ahead.
They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
The foundation of the world is out of course. The world is not what it's supposed to be because you're not ruling the earth as you're supposed to. Go ahead.
I have said, ye are God.
You are what?
Ye are God.
All of you men in here are supposed to be gods. And the women, guess what y'all, if the men are gods, what are the women supposed to be? Oh, come on, sis. You know it. If your husband is a god, what are you? Sis, help sis out. If your husband is a god, what are you supposed to be, sis? He's a king, you're a queen. If he's a god, what are you? You're a goddess. Our sisters are supposed to be goddesses on the earth. The men are supposed to be gods on the earth. For some reason, we become baby mamas, baby daddies. That's crazy. That's why the scriptures say the world is out of course. The goddesses has become baby mamas. The gods has become baby daddies. They're not husbands and wives. They're not goddess and goddesses. They're not kings and queens. We've fallen low. And this is the time for us to rise. And what is going to take for us to rise? What my brother said earlier, being obedient to the commandments. Now the question should be, what are some of the commandments you're supposed to be obedient to, right? Yes. What about you? Yeah? What are the commandments you're supposed to be obedient to, right? How old are you? 17? 19? You going to college?
I'm in college.
You in college? Okay. Give me the Sabbath day. Exodus 20. Let me show you something. Because you asked what are some of the things we're supposed to celebrate, right? I'm gonna show you. And this is in the 10 Commandments. But we don't pay it no attention. Go ahead, read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
You know what? Stop here there. Let's run through them right quick.
Verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
So that's the first one. Don't have no other gods before this guy right here. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
Graven image. What's a graven image? What's considered a graven image? Huh? Copper. Okay. I mean, that's a material you could use. Remember when they was in the wilderness, when Moses came down, they had a golden calf, right? Yeah. So and they were praying up, worshiping it.
No idol.
No idol. That's the idol, right? A graven image is an idol, something that you pray to, right? Here's my question now. What about the cross? Is that a graven image? Oh, he got one. Oh, I know you ain't trying to run. He got one. Is that a graven image? What you think? Talk to me. It's a graven image, right? Because we can't read about the cross in the Bible. And it has ties to a pagan religion. Who's supposed to be on that cross? Jesus, right? What does that Jesus look like? What does that Jesus look like? What do the world tell us Jesus look like? A white man with blue eyes, long blonde hair on a cross, right? Is that biblically correct? What does Jesus look like? What does that mean? Hair of wool, skin of bronze that looked like it was burnt in a furnace. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means a black ass man. That's what it means. Midnight black. Let's read it. Go ahead.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So his hair, at the time John has seen him, is white and it's woolly. Remember, in Burial, it described his woolly hair as pure wool. Go ahead, read it again.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So that's why it's saying it's white like wool. It's pure wool, and it is literally white. Go ahead.
As white as snow.
As white. So you see how he got salt and pepper hair right there? Christ's hair is fully white. Go ahead.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire. And his feet like unto fine brass. As if they burned in a furnace.
If you take anything, you burn it in fire. What color is it gonna come out? I burn your shirt in white. I burn that white shirt in a fire. What color is it coming out? Black as hell, right? Christ make him look like skin, right? Read it again. Read it again.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in the furnace. As
if it was burnt in a furnace. You take brass, you put it in fire, it's gonna come out black. So that's the skin tone of our Lord. We shouldn't be giving that honor to a scrimpy white man on the cross with blonde hair and blue eyes. Okay, let's go back. Graven image. Go back to graven image.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
So a lot of us got crosses on. Those are graven images. Okay?
Or any likeness of anything.
Or when a rapper get money, what he get is the Jesus piece, right? That's a graven image too. Okay?
or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water underneath the earth.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them.
Go ahead.
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
Read that again.
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
Here's what we got to understand. God is a jealous God. We got to pay attention to that. God is a jealous God. So if you're doing, y'all ever been in a relationship with a jealous woman? You move, you breathe wrong. Why you breathing like that for? You breathing like that for the other hoes? Why you get a haircut? You get a haircut for the other hoes? God said he's a jealous God. And we want to gamble with Christmas, Easter. He never told us to do that. Right? Just like a jealous girlfriend or a jealous wife, anything you do to move wrong, she's going to be angry because you're not moving like you're trying to please her. It seems like you're trying to please something else. Same thing with God. He said don't have no graven images. We put a strange thing on our neck like a cross. It's strange to God. He never gave it to us. He gave us multiple things we can do, we can have. Anything we do, anything outside of that, God is jealous. When God gets jealous, he get angry. When God get angry, we're going to slavery for 400 or 500 years. And we don't know that we're the Israelites. We call ourselves African Americans. That's God's anger. That's God's anger. Go ahead.
For I, the Lord thy God, am
remember, before we went into slavery, we was ruling the world.
That's right.
Before the white man conquered us in Spain and Europe, we ruled Spain and Europe. We had different kingdoms in Africa. We didn't just happen to end up on the west side of Africa. We started running from the Romans in Jerusalem, what they call Israel now. And then we went into Africa and we established different kingdoms. And as we fought different wars, we migrated westward to the point we got all the way to the west coast of Africa. So we was ruling the earth. That's what we lost. That's what we gotta realize. We lost the rulership of the earth. And that's what we got to realize the kingdom of heaven is. We're not going to float away in the sky and be flying butt naked with Jesus and God. And that's not what the rulership of heaven is. The kingdom of heaven is us ruling this world again, righteously. Because we lost that. And that's what us being obedient to the commandments is going to get us. To rule the earth once again. But guess what? For you to be a God and rule the earth, guess what you got to know? You got to know the guidelines of how to rule. You got to know the laws. Okay?
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation to them that hate me.
Here's the important thing about sin. You can commit sin and God said, all right, okay, I'll get your grandkids. Because the people that was in the wilderness with Moses, when they was hearing you're going to go into slavery on ships, your children are going to be sold, your businesses are going to be nothing, you're going to have to beg people to lend money to you. They heard that. They was like, that can't happen to us. Guess who it happened to? Their grandkids. We're still living out these curses 2,000-3,000 years later. These things happen to these things were told to our ancestors and happened to us. Go ahead.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me.
Now, for us to love God, that means being compliant with his commandments. Once we're compliant with the commandments, the curses will be lifted off. Okay?
And keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
Go ahead.
For the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain.
Go ahead.
Remember the Sabbath day.
Now, this is the fourth commandment. Go ahead.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
How do we do that? How do we keep the Sabbath day holy? When is the Sabbath day? Say it loud, man. Saturday. You right. The Sabbath day technically start Friday sundown and it ends Saturday sundown. So from last night to tonight, we're in what is called the Sabbath day.
So you saying that's the day we're supposed to have church?
That's the day we're supposed to congregate. The thing with church is we are the church. We're the church. That's the day we're supposed to congregate, get together with like-minded brothers and sisters, exhort one another to continue. You know what I'm saying? I might get with this brother, let him know how terrible my week was, and he's going to uplift me. That's the thing we're missing in our community. And everything that we're missing in our community goes back to us keeping the commandments. Like, for example, we have a lack of fathers that's in their children's lives in our community. That goes back to marriage. We've been dishonoring marriage as a nation of people. We've been brainwashed by music, movies. It tells us you're the man if you got 2-3 girls. And guess what happens with that? You have 2-3 girls, you might end up with 2 or 3 baby mamas. Now you got broken homes all over the place, right? Go ahead, read.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
No.
6 days shall thou labor.
So this is how you do the Sabbath day. You got 6 days to labor, meaning you got 6 days to work. So you got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's 6 days. Go ahead.
And do all thy work.
Uh-huh.
But the seventh day
will start Friday night. Go ahead.
Is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Uh-huh.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
So we can't do work. Go ahead.
Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy maidservant, nor thy manservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates.
Anything you have possession over, it's a day of rest for them too. There's no working, there's no buying, there's no selling, and there's no cooking. You're supposed to prepare for the Sabbath day the day before. Okay?
For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day.
Go ahead.
Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
So now, the God say, if I rest, I did all these things, all the creations in 6 days, and the seventh day I rested, you rest too. And it's also a covenant between us, the children of Israel, and God. So, and recently, there was a sister, I think she owned a salon. No, she was a cook. She was working so hard to the point that she just died. She just passed out, dead from exertion. So God has given us that day to kind of reset our bodies. Remember I said there's no cooking, right? So your body, your digestive system get a break from hot food for that day. And now your body get a break from labor. It don't matter what kind of work you do, it's laborious. So your body get a rest from work that day. These are things that we need.
Working on a Saturday, like we in a city or something, like.
Get First John 3. Yes. Huh? Hey, Eric. Hey, bro. Hey, we gotta do something about this. You know what I mean? The Lord say it's a day of rest. What we gonna do? Hey, go ahead.
Let's just answer your question. 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4.
Go ahead.
Whosoever committed sin.
Now we're gonna learn what sin is. Go ahead.
Transgresses also the law.
When you transgress the law, what does that mean? You go against, you doing something outside what the law say. You're breaking it. You're a lawbreaker. Yeah. So if you do that, you're in sin. Yeah.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
Whatever the law say, if you go against it, you're a breaker of the law. So if the law say we can't work on the Sabbath day, we gotta figure out what we gotta do to be in compliance to that. Now we understand. Come on now, this is probably the first time you're hearing this. You can't expect any business to just hey everybody get up. That would be zealous. That would be showing the Lord something. But there's things he got to put in place, right? He's a business owner. We understand how businesses work. You know, it takes a lot to just switch like that, right? But the point is to show you the commandments of the Lord and for us to get to the point where we're compliant and obedient to the commandments. Because that's the only thing that's gonna save us. That's the only thing that's the only hope that we have in these last days. But y'all see things are ramping up, right? Things are ramping up. Trump just stole Venezuelan. He kidnapped the president of another country, and he said, we're going to run this country. So he's going to take possession of the oil. Now, China can't get oil from Venezuela. Russia can't get oil from Venezuela. Guess what that's building? That's building the tension for World War III. Yeah. And the Bible prophesies in the midst of World War III, that's when Christ come back. So that's what the world's getting ramping up to. World War III, and then the coming back of Jesus Christ. And the establishment of the kingdom of heaven on the earth. And you're not going to get that if you're not being compliant to the commandments. Say that again? Oh, okay.
Read Nehemiah.
Yeah.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 10 and verse 31. And if the people of the land bring wealth or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we will not buy it of them on the Sabbath or on the holy day.
So not only is the 7-day Sabbath or holy day or Sabbath, the new moons, the Passover, those other feasts are holy days and feast days as well. So we can't sell or make businesses in those days either. Read from the top.
And if the people of the land bring wealth or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we will not buy it of them on the Sabbath or on the holy day.
Yeah.
And that we will leave the 7th year and the exaction of our debt.
All right, yeah. All right, that's Jubilee. Go back to Exodus. So the Sabbath day, the 7th day of the week, which falls Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, that's our holy day. That's our day of rest. Okay.
Verse 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that the days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Now, we have a tradition of young men nowadays, they call them YNs, right? They die at a young age, right? Why? Because we don't have real parents and they're not listening to the parents. Read it again.
Honor thy mother and thy father.
The parents of the YNs are YNs themselves. So they're not establishing any structure for the kid. So their kids end up in what? Little micro gangs. You got one neighborhood fighting against another neighborhood. One brother fighting against another brother. His girl might have got smashed by the other brother. Now there's jealousy. There's back and forth. Next thing you know, there's gun violence. And guess what? Man, trade. They're dying at 19, 18, 20. We're not having a long lifespan. Read it again.
Honor thy father and thy mother.
That's why we need marriages to come back in our community. Once we establish God's laws, marriage, things like that in our community, we're not going to have these issues anymore. The young men, young women, they're going to have something to look forward to. They're going to have structure in their household. So now they can listen to the parents because the parents are structured and they're going to give them structure. Go ahead.
That thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill.
That's another one of God's commandments. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not steal.
What's adultery? Any sin, any sexual sin. That's adultery. So homosexuality falls into adultery. You got girlfriends. That's adultery. The Bible don't condone. The Bible don't.
You have a wife, not a girlfriend.
You can't have a girlfriend. You're supposed to have wives, right? Okay. That's good. That's good. You don't see that no more. 38 years of marriage, you don't see that nowadays. Y'all are like unicorn on the earth now.
Right.
People get married 3-4 years, boom, it's over with. Okay, so the process is called courtship, right? Y'all become friends. Y'all get to know each other. Y'all talk, get to know each other's likes, dislikes. It's similar to what we used to do back in the day, right? But yeah, that's how it is. But you doing all of that without the girlfriend part, without taking her out by yourself, without her in the back seat of your car and you know what I'm saying, with the fingers and stuff. Y'all not touching each other, y'all not kissing on each other, y'all not doing none of that. Y'all just getting to know each other, and then it escalates to marriage. You betrothed a woman and then you married a woman. There's no sex, there's no testing it out, none of that before marriage. That's where we go wrong. That's how we create whores. That's how we create whores and whoremongers. Or nowadays we call them hoes and players. The Bible call them whores and whoremongers. All right?
What club was that at?
That was admit that a lot of people don't even realize they.
I've called her. She hasn't responded. I've called her more than a few times.
But the Zulu Nation, I'm like, what the hell is this? I know nobody know what I'm talking about. You'll leave me on the island by myself. I don't know what the hell Bishop's talking about. That's what y'all do. Then after class, yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I just don't want to be caught out there. The hell is this? Get on my damn nerves. So read that again.
Huh?
What did you say called hoes?
We call them hoes and players now. But the Bible call them whores and whoremongers. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of us was. Yeah, you knocking them down left and right, turning them everywhere but loose. Yeah, you're a whoremonger, right? Yeah, that's what we was. We gotta realize and you gotta do right now. You gotta do right now. Go ahead. That's how much we're supposed to forgive each other. God don't have a number on, he don't have a limit on how he forgives you. He just wants you to stop it. Stop knocking over the head, Eric. That's what he wants. Always. That's the thing. That's the good thing. But once you realize, once you've been enlightened, because a lot of us are ignorant to exactly. You can't keep doing it. Because if you do, there's no forgiveness of sin that way. But if you're ignorant, you're like, damn, I didn't know that. And then you stop. That's what God wants. But if you realize and you know better, you're like, yeah, I'm still going to do it. God can't forgive you for that. Yeah, go ahead.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8 and verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
Nah, that's a wicked heart right there. Because you don't get the judgment for breaking. Even though God's going to forgive you, but he's going to have a judgment for you. He's got to teach you a lesson, even though he forgives you. But some of us, because we don't get the judgment right away, we keep doing it and doing it and doing it. You don't get STD the first girl you sleep with, you sleep with another one. Get Hebrews 9. Hebrews 9 should be around like 6, I think. But check this out, bro. Go ahead.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 26. For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth.
So that's what I was saying. Now we know the truth of the scriptures. We know who we are. We know the laws. We know the commandments. If we sin willfully, go ahead.
There remaineth no more sacrifice for our sins.
Now there's no more sacrifice. You can't get forgiveness for something that you know and you continually to do them. Okay, let's go back to Exodus. Oh no, there's some more. Okay, let's go back to Exodus. 20. You're back to 20. So thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal,
Thou shalt not thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
So we're clear on the adultery. The adultery is homosexuality, sex outside of marriage, even if you're married and you're having sex outside of that marriage, that's adultery. Any sexual sins fall under adultery. Right? Nowadays we call it fornication, right? That's still adultery. Okay?
Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
We can't, the gossiping in our communities, that gotta stop. Lying on each other, that's gotta stop. Okay?
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Now, this is where most of our problems in our community starts. We covet our neighbor's house. Read it again.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
We covet what another man got. Oh man, he got 24s on his shit. Man, I want 24s on my shit. You know what? I ain't gonna get 24s. I'm gonna get 28s. I'm gonna shit on that nigga. Does that sound familiar? That goes into that falls into covetousness. Okay?
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
And we covet our neighbor's wife. You see your brother's girl, you like, oh, I want that. Go ahead.
Nor his manservant. Nor his maidservant.
Go ahead.
Nor his ox. Nor his ass.
Go ahead.
Nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Now, there's a thin line though. You can covet what your neighbor have and be like, I want to be like that. But then you know when that spirit is like, oh man, I'm inspired by that brother. There's a difference when you're inspired by what somebody has and you want to do the same. And there's a difference when you are coveting what somebody has. Right, sis? Amen. All right. So we got to learn these things. There's a difference between the Bible says you're supposed to covet a righteous gift that somebody has, but don't covet something they have and you want it just because they have it. A lot of times we don't know what that person did to get to the position they're at. So it's good to be inspired, but not being covetous.
I wanted to touch more on that marriage portion. How many people in here married? By show of hands. 1, 2. All right. You not married?
Had bad experience.
Yeah. You got a lady friend? No? What about y'all? Not married, no lady friends? You got a friend? Okay. What about you, my man? Married? Lady friends? All right. Why we not married?
I done tried 3 times, it didn't work out for me.
Okay, 3 times you didn't work out? What about yourself? Say again? You done went through a divorce? What about you, bro? Why you not married? You too young? I mean, you doing marital acts, right? So why we not married? That's the question. I got a few statistics that I want to read. And we talking about the black community, right? Because that's the community we should be caring about, right? Read this real quick. Right here.
Black Americans generally have higher divorce rates compared to other racial groups in the U.S.
Now watch this. How many times you say you got divorced?
3 times.
3 times. How many times you say you got divorced? Once. So just between y'all two, there's been 4 divorces. Read it again.
Black Americans generally have higher divorce rates compared to other racial groups in the U.S.
Right. Read.
With recent data showing black women and men experiencing the highest rates of first divorces, around 24 to 25%, while some sources cite a higher percentage.
Now watch this. It say 24 to 25% of us divorced our first time, it said. It only counting our first time. In your case, it was 3 times. So there's no telling how many times we do it over and over again. That goes back to the principles of what the Bible says. Watch this. Hold this. Read Hebrews 13.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all.
Read.
And the bed undefiled.
Now, marriage between a man and a woman, God calls that honorable above all things. And whatever you do with your wife, that's honorable. Read.
But whoremongers.
But what?
But whoremongers
Read.
and adulterers.
Notice that he put whoremongers and adulterers in the same class. He said marriage is honorable, but if you're a whoremonger or adulterer, read.
God will judge.
Now, how do we get judged as we sleep around like that? My man, how do whoremongers and adulterers get judged? You don't know? Say again, sis? Right. This is God. This is what we're talking about. Read that one more time.
Marriage is honorable in all. But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
So the way God will judge you, for example, say something happened, say you and your lady friend, right? Well, there's nothing to tie y'all together. What is there to tie y'all together? We just friends. Now say she go and say, oh, well, I'm just friends with Tyrone over here too. And I'm just friends over here. But check this out. But then she come back to you. Now guess what? Now you itching. Now you ain't got a tie to it. So what does that make it? It makes it to God, like God said, he'll judge those that are outside of being honorable in marriage. I want to read a few more statistics. Go down to here. What I underline.
Ever divorced? Black Americans are the most likely group to have ever divorced, with around 41% of ever married Black Americans having divorced, compared to 16% of Asian Americans, according to Pew Research.
So now this is the recent research. And it's only just talking about Black Americans, not talking about Hispanics, Native Americans, right? All Hispanics, Blacks, and Native Americans, we the same people. We go through the same stuff. Now it says just from Black Americans, 41% of us divorce. Right? Read again. Read that portion one more time. The bottom portion.
Black Americans having divorced compared to, with around 41% of ever married Black Americans having divorced compared to 16% of Asian Americans, according to Pew Research.
Now watch. Go to the next one. Watch this. Now, that's talking about right now. We're in 2026 now, right? That statistic was from last year, 2025, because we just started 26, right? Now watch this in the 60s.
In 1960, the marriage rate for Black adults was significantly higher than today.
You see that? Why is that? Why you think?
The time we live in.
Say again?
Because the time we live in.
Okay, the time we living in, right? Our people were more structurally sound, with moral. Say that again?
So more women are disobedient to men.
Okay. Watch this. Go to 1 Corinthians 11. Watch this. That's a good statement. It's a good statement. He says more women are disobedient to men. But why are women disobedient?
They work on women.
This is a conversation we're supposed to be having.
Because men ain't what they supposed to be in life.
There it is right there. Because the men are disobedient, so the women gonna be disobedient.
Ain't nobody gonna follow a leader that ain't right.
There it is, bro. Hey, you're 100%. You're 100%. Now watch this.
That's why they say the man got to straighten this out.
That's it. Now watch this. Read that.
Most men.
A man is a leader. He's a king.
Supposed to be. We supposed to be. Take it easy, bro. Be safe. Read that.
1 Corinthians.
Watch what the Bible say. Read that.
Chapter 11 and verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
The head of every man is Christ. Christ is above all you men here. Read.
And the head of the woman is the man.
Now the black man, the black woman, the head of the black woman is supposed to be the black man. Read.
And the head of Christ is God.
So this is an order. God wrote this order. He said God, Christ, man, woman. Now, is God out of order? No. Not at all, right? What about Christ? No. We got to go down the line. And just like he mentioned, you go down the line, process elimination, who's the one that's out of order? Man is out of order. Us men are out of order. We'll sleep with, check this out, we'll sleep with a woman, and if we don't like it, we call her a hoe and push her off to the side. And then go sleep with another one. We making them that way. Right?
Some men, because some women.
But you say you was divorced 3 times.
And I was going to correct.
You see what I'm saying?
None of my fault. I'm going to correct that. Because they take my weakness, my time from a weakness.
Okay.
I'm going to correct it. I'm sorry about that. Don't make me a bad guy.
No, I'm not saying you bad. I'm not saying you bad. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, we fit we making the statistics.
We'll make you a bad person.
You know what I'm saying? Say that again?
I'm going to correct you on that. I'm doing my job.
Make you a bad person.
Okay, you right. You right.
I know that though.
But what I'm saying is, marriage. Hey, this is the point of the point is, marriage is the foundation to a strong nation. If we don't have strong, structured marriages, our nation is going to still be the statistic that it is. Because from everybody in here, just our families, can we build together? How so? Because the point of it is to build a nation, a structured nation, sound, doctors, businesses, bus routes, right? Cemeteries for those that have died, right? Morticians, right? Orthopedics, all these different things. How do we build that? Go to Amos 3. How do we build that? Because we study like this. This is what we do. We study like this to the other nations. Can I have some of what y'all got? Waiting for the next stimulus check. Waiting for taxes to come. Waiting for this, waiting for that. We study waiting instead of doing it ourselves. Read that.
The book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed?
So now can me and you, if we not in agreement or nothing, can we build something? Hell no. We have to be agreed on something. What do we have to agree on? We have to agree on the order we just read. We got to agree that God said, listen, this is the Sabbath day. This is what you can and can't do on it. This is what you can and cannot eat. This is how a man is supposed to structure his house. This is how a woman is supposed to support the men so he can structure the house and then teach the children the same way. That's why, like what Uziel was saying, was that that's why you got YNs terrorizing the neighborhoods. We terrorize our own neighborhoods. And the Bible say that. The Bible says, well, go to that. Isaiah, what's that? Isaiah 13?
Yeah, 13 and 12.
Yeah, read that. Because the men are out of order, so we can't put the house in order. So guess what? Now we the people that fill the prison houses. They building more prisons just because we consistently out of order. Read that.
Isaiah 13 and 12.
13 and 12, is it?
Not 12. I was thinking Hosea 4.
Nah. What's that, King? And women rule over them. Isaiah 3 and 12. There you go. Watch this. We're going to figure it out.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Why he say that? He's saying, for my people, children are the ones that are oppressing us. Read.
And women rule over them.
Because the women are the ones raising them up. Can a woman? I'm gonna ask y'all. Can a woman raise a man?
No.
Can't. Can a woman raise a man? No, bro. Can't. The men are supposed to raise the man. You're supposed to be there to make sure that he's toughened up for society, to know the things that we have gone through, so that when he go through it, it's just that much easier.
But our laws of the world make them think they can.
Say that again?
Laws of the world make them think they can raise a boy until then. Yeah, the law.
You right. You right. And check that out. Check this out. That was the next statistics that I was gonna read. That was the next statistics that I was gonna read. Watch this. Read that right there. So a woman can't raise a man. It takes a man to raise a man. But what happens if the man was raised by a woman, and the next man was raised by a woman, and the next man? What kind of men are these raised? You're gonna have YNs. You're gonna have effeminate men. You're gonna have men that can't have you're gonna have men that can't have conversations like we having conversations. You're gonna have Atlanta. Yeah, it's gonna be like Atlanta.
Last time I was in Atlanta, the police officer told me, he said, to every man in Atlanta, every man in Atlanta, 12 women. Cause he said, half of the men gay.
Damn.
Little man said, hold on, man. He tell me what you just said.
Say that.
I was raised by a woman.
Okay.
You gotta stop it.
Okay, so you was raised. Now look, now check this out. But here's the thing. I'm not saying women can't try. I'm not saying women can't try to do it. But what I'm saying is, it's not structurally according to what the Bible's saying. The Bible say the man is supposed to be raising the boys up to be a man. The women are there to nurture them. Now, what are the things that the woman gonna give that child? She gonna give them, how to treat a woman, right? Different things like that. How to be passionate, right? Those are certain qualities that man is going to gain from his mom. But how to be actually a man, the mom's not a man. So she can't teach him how to be a man. It's the man that's supposed to do that, right? Read that.
Welfare access for single black women significantly grew in the 1960s.
Hey, check this out. This what his name? What's the name? Philip. This what you was talking about. Read that.
Welfare access for single black women significantly grew in the 1960s.
So now, after the 1960s is when single black women had access to welfare, because welfare came out in the 20s, 25 or something like that. But it wasn't accessible for us. But in the 1960s is when it was accessible now to single black women. Why is that? To separate the household. Why was it not accessible to single black men? If it was structured to actually build the black family, why wouldn't it be structured to where it's like, okay, you married and y'all struggling, why it's not for both of y'all? It was actually built for just a single black woman. Read.
Driven by the civil rights movement, the war on poverty, and expanded aid to families with dependent children.
So now watch. It says extended aid to families on the dependent children. Remember, it said single black woman. So what was that family? A single black woman with multiple children. There's no men in that. Just like, for example, Section 8 housing, things like that. All those programs now, they have their place, right? To use for a certain time, to get back on your feet so that you can get back structured. But our society, we depend on those things, on those handouts. Some of us, like me growing up, 20, 30 years my mom depended on those things, right? What it is a crutch. Just to lean on real quick, okay, I'm back good, now I'm gonna go do what I gotta do. But in our communities, we depend on that for generations, and it shouldn't be that way. Like I asked you, we should be able to come together in the community and say, hey, let's clean it up. But we can't do that if we don't agree on stuff. Marriage is the one first thing that we should be agreeing on. Black marriages. What's going on, bro?
What's up, man?
So,
Tell you something, man. Not but me.
no, you good.
I'm a 70s baby.
All right.
Most women now they are going out there partying with the kids and this and that. When I grew up, if me and you were talking, you better be in that room somewhere. And that's not like it don't be back in the 70s. Everything just changed now.
Everything's completely different now.
Completely different. You can't tell a child, parents party with their child and stuff. It's just sad. It really is. It's sad.
The reason for it is because there's no structure in the family. If for example, if you have a daughter and you had structure and your structure was based off what the Bible said, you're not gonna let her go play around and go hang out with no boys or nothing like that. She's not doing that.
But you got a lot of temptation out here. You got to have a strong mind.
Right.
This temptation they get in just wrong with me. I never drunk, never smoked. I go around like I'm good, but it's all in the mind.
Right. So the moral of everything is that we have to agree on something. We have to agree that what the Bible says is what we got to do. There's certain laws in the Bible that half of us ain't never heard about. Right? Like having a beard as a man. That's a law in the Bible. Men are not supposed to shave into their beards. Those are certain things that were given to us during the time of captivity and slavery. We had beards. They were ripped off to shame you. But nowadays, we follow society and we just mar into it like it ain't nothing. Make us look younger, right? Trying to hold on to something. But that I wanted to bring out some of them statistics. Did you finish reading that? Watch this. Yeah, read it one more time.
Welfare access for single black women significantly grew in the 1960s, driven by the civil rights movement, the war on poverty, and expanded aid to families with dependent children eligibility.
Right.
With black women forming a large segment of recipients by the 1970s.
So, like what you said, the 60s is when it was accessible to women, to single black women, and after the 70s is when it went rampant. After the 70s, you start seeing now women saying, guess what? Well, there's no need for the man no more. I'm getting that check. I got housing, the kids are fed, right? So now there's no need for the support of the black man. So what does that do? You can't build a nation now. Now the women are dependent solely on welfare, right? Any of y'all ever hear the book called The Willie Lynch Letter? I didn't bring it. Yeah. There's a portion in the Willie Lynch letter, and this letter was written during the time of slavery. It was written from an Irish slave owner. He wrote it and sent it out to all the slave masters. And it's called the Willie Lynch Letter, The Making of a Slave. And there's a portion in it that says, in order for sound economics and sound sleep at night, you have to separate the marriage of the black and black man and black woman. You have to show that the black woman no longer is dependent on the black man. So in that terms, she will show the children not to be dependent on the black man and only be dependent on the slave master for everything. And that's where welfare came out. It's the same concept. So now women say, I don't need a man. I don't need a man to make me happy. I got money. I can do this. I can fall back on this. So what do we need to do? What you think? That's the question. These are perfect platforms in the bar, because the barbershop is what stuff like this is supposed to be talked about. You know what I mean? You get multiple people that come in barbershops that are in different fields and stuff like that. You know, work certain different things. So this is where it need to be talked about. what are we going to do to better our community?
That's right.
Because these young men that are sitting over here, this is the next generation. What are we going to do to better their lives so that they're not caught in the system, so that the school to prison pipeline don't catch them, or so that they don't knock somebody up and now guess what, they stuck for 18 years, child support and so on and so forth. Now they can't get certain jobs. Now they can't build. This is where those conversations should be being held. So read that Hebrews 13 one more time. So the foundation of the black nation, or the foundation of our nation, should be marriage.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all,
right,
and the bed undefiled.
Right.
But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
Anybody got any questions? What his name was again? Philip.
Yes, sir.
You got any question?
No.
What you think, bro?
I understand what you're saying.
So this is why we gotta look at it. What was your name, bro?
Ace.
Ace. You got children?
Yeah.
You have a daughter?
Yeah.
Okay, you have a daughter. The way we have to look at it as, if me as a man, if I'm gonna sleep around from woman to woman to woman, what are you showing to your daughter? What are we showing to the next brother, to your son? That it's okay. So we helping those statistics that I read, we're helping those statistics grow.
That's right. I agree with that.
If in the 1960s, when we had some type of morals to us, the marriage rate was real high. Now, people don't even look. You ask some young woman, they say, I don't want to get married. Why would I want to get married? I don't need no man to hold me down.
That's right.
That's the thought process of our youth nowadays. When it should be, I want to be a beautiful and helping and loving wife. Right?
Yeah, living in this world now.
Right. But who's going to change this world?
Yeah.
We got to change it. Starting in our communities. Go ahead.
That's just like raising kids. You gotta raise kids different from where I gotta raise.
Say again?
I said, I believe that's kind of like raising kids now. You can't raise kids the way that I got raised back in the day.
Right.
You try to do that.
It's different. It's different nowadays. You got to be more strategic, right?
I understand what you're saying.
Right.
Kids having kids.
That's what's going on.
Yeah.
They haven't learned that yet.
It's kids having kids because the parents, the grandparents have failed.
When we grew up in the 70s, like you said, in the 70s, we were taught you need to marry, young man. You need to marry your wife.
Right.
You don't hear that now.
You don't hear that now. You're right. You don't hear that now. If you feel he ain't no good or she ain't no good, well then find another. That's what you hear nowadays. But marriage has got to be the foundation, right? Because like you mentioned, it's kids nowadays. It's kids having kids. A young woman, 13, 14 years old, pregnant. She don't even know how to be a woman yet. How is she to be a mother? And then now she's 30 years old and her 13 or 14 years old is having children. So this is what we got to do as men here. Because it starts with us. Because like I showed when I first started talking was, there's a certain order to God. God says God is in charge, then Christ, right? Then man. So we have to keep that order. Read that.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 2 and verse 2. I go thy way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. And keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments.
So now this is God is so what's happening right now is King David is telling his son. He said, I'm getting ready to die. So what I want you to do is to be a man. How do you be a man? He says, keep the ordinance and the commandments of God. That's going to show you how to be a man. It's going to show you how to structure your house. It's going to show you how to teach your wife how to be an actual wife. It's going to teach, and that trickles down to the children. Keep going.
Keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments, and his judgments, and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses.
So the same way as it's written in the Bible, that's how we got to do it. But we got to understand that this same Bible that's used in the Christian church, it's not used correctly the way they use it in the Christian church compared to what you read. How many of y'all have read the Bible? All right, 1, 2. You raise your hand? No? We have read the whole Bible, right?
No, I ain't read the whole Bible.
All right.
That's how I know how much time I did. It took me a year to read.
Yeah.
I understand the whole time.
Okay, that goes to my point.
I never understand all the
You can read.
You understand was the story of it, like the Old Testament, the word and everything. I got still a revelation. I could never go all the way through that.
Okay.
I always stop.
So the point is that some of us have read the Bible, but we don't understand it. So that's what we have to do is come and learned men to learn the Bible for what it actually means, what it's actually talking about. Because when you go into, so for example, we've been here what, hour and a half or something like that, and you probably have heard more scriptures than you have in 3 months of church. There's a difference there. This is how church is supposed to be held, just like how we're doing right now. Looking at the problems in our communities, where the sin is at, why we dying so much, why our statistics are so high, why we have disobedience in our neighborhoods, why we have gout, diabetes, high blood pressure in our communities, and where we're going to attack that and fix that. It's all written right here. How are we supposed to eat? How are we supposed to deal with one another? You know what I mean? Watch this. I'm going to give y'all one more statistic. Just read that portion right there. So the question, I just looked this up on the drive here. Read that right there.
What percentage of black children are raised by single mothers?
Now, wait, you left already? All right. Read that one more time.
What percentage of black children are raised by single mothers?
What you think?
80.
Somebody say 80? What do you think?
About 65%.
Okay, 65. Ma'am, what do you think?
You say 80%? That's a lot.
I was about
What's it called? Single bread? Look how the man in the house.
No,
Yeah.
say that again?
Look how the man in the house. I still think some cases that women still trying to raise,
So you saying the man, even if the man is in the house, you saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so the man's simping then. That's what you saying?
What was your question?
Read it again.
What percentage of black children are raised by single mothers?
That's the question.
Yeah, about 65, 70.
Yeah, about 65, 76.
Okay.
7%. Because he was falling locked off, so almost just dead.
Okay. All right. What's the percentage?
Today, approximately 70%.
70%.
Yeah, 70%.
70%. If we had 100 children in this barbershop right now, 70 of them will be raised by single black women. That's high.
We got more women bringing kids than guys. Some of the fathers we never meet.
Why you getting room for raising?
Some of the guys we never meet. We meet our mothers almost.
Like
Your grandparents, your mothers.
So look, statistics like this as black men, that should be a slap to our face. We need to be there.
That's right.
That's why you get the YNs. That's why you get effeminate young men that grow up into men, and now their wrist is broken and they walk like that.
I've been doing this 38 years.
You see what I mean?
I've seen it. It's all I've seen. 38 years I've been cutting hair. There's more women I don't dealt with their kids.
Right.
Ask for their son.
Right. Now read the next statistic.
In the 1960s.
And I go back to the 60s because that's when there was that separation of independence, right? During the civil rights. Read it.
In the 1960s, approximately 22%.
Look at the drastic change. Between the 60s and now. That's a huge difference. We're getting close to that 100%. But we the one doing it. We doing it to ourselves. So in the 1960s, there was more black marriages, more structure in the home, right? But the difference is the marriage. Nowadays, nobody wants commitment. You know why? They go back to that last commandment. Read it again. The last commandment. The 10th commandment. This is why. Why is the difference is back then marriages were structured, right? Women dressed like, see how these beautiful women are dressed, right? It's a difference. Women were dressed modestly. There was no there wasn't much promiscuity then, right? Where you like a woman comes in tight pants, everything showing. You already see everything. Now you just ready to dive in.
You married a man?
Say again?
You married?
I've been me and my wife been married 17 years now. Yep.
That's good.
Read that.
That's a good.
No, the last commandment. The 10th commandment.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Right.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
So that's covetousness. That right there is why we don't want commitment. I don't want to be married because then I'm only got to be with this woman, and then you know what I'm saying. But I like Becky down the street, and I like a lot of it is that way. What is it then? Tell me.
It's different. It's different.
What is
it? It ain't about what you're saying though. It's different things though. Why a person ain't married? So,
commitment. Why are we scared of commitment?
Come on.
you might just got to find the right woman.
But how do you find the right woman? We looking all in the different wrong places. This is why we be looking like this.
Some people they go to church, but it be the worst of one, they say.
That's the worst word, bro. That's the worst word.
So where we gonna go find one then?
You got it. Look, watch this. Go to Sirach 6 and 7. This is where we go to find one. If you want to find a husband, if you want to find a wife, you're going to find them right here in this Bible. Read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldst get a friend.
Now, what friend is this? It's talking about if you want to prove or meet somebody, read.
If thou wouldst get a friend, prove him first.
See that? How do you prove somebody? What am I proving? To see if you're strong? No, I ain't proving to see if you can bench 350. Right? I'm not proving if she could do a backflip or a split. I'm proving to see if, go to Titus 2. This is what I'm proving. I want to make sure that she's going to be a good wife. She's going to be a good mother if we have children. I want to make sure that if I go on hard times, she's going to help me through it. That's what you proving. Read that. Titus 2 and right there. Start verse 1. This is what you're proving. Read.
The book of Titus, chapter 2 and verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged men be sober,
right?
Gave temperate, sound in faith.
So this is the woman is proving that the men are this. They're sober. They're not always drunk, high all the damn time, right? Read.
Grave. Temperate.
Read.
Sound in faith.
Sound in faith. Above all else, he gonna make sure that this Bible gets done right. Read.
In charity.
He said.
And in patience.
Read.
The aged woman.
Now this is the other way. This is what I'm looking for. I'm proving. Read.
The aged woman likewise, that they be behavior as becoming holiness.
Read.
Not false accusers.
Read.
Not giving too much wine.
Not same thing. You're not bickering. You're not doing this. She not always in. She not the one coming and spilling the tea to everybody. She not the drunk all the time. Read.
Teachers of good things.
What does that mean? What does it mean that a woman is a teacher of a good thing? Does that mean she teaching math, science?
She's a teacher of relationship.
Watch. Go to what's that? Romans 7. Romans 7 said, hold that too. This is what it means that a woman is a teacher of a good thing. The Bible literally has all the answers of how we successfully can thrive as community.
Our Bible like that?
That's the Holy Bible, the King James Bible. Read. Which one? 7 and 12.
The book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 12. Wherefore the law is holy.
The what is holy?
The law is holy. And the commandment holy.
Read.
And just and good.
The laws and the commandment are justified and they're good. Y'all there? All right. The laws of God, the commandments, that's what she's teaching. A teacher of what's good. The Bible says what's good, the laws and the commandments is good. So if she follows the laws and the commandment, guess what? Go back to Titus. This is how she gonna be. Read.
And likewise, the aged woman, likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness.
Read.
Not false accusers, not giving too much wine, teachers of good things.
What? Read.
That they may teach the young women.
They could do what?
Teach the young women to be sober.
So wait, so now you looking to see if she's teaching the young woman too. Teaching them what? To be sober the same way. Watch this. Read.
To be sober, to love their husbands.
Wait a minute. How is an elder woman gonna know how to teach a younger woman to love their husbands if the elder woman don't got a husband? If the elder woman don't know what it is to be a wife? These are the things you're looking for. That's what it means by prove them first, to make sure that they doing what the Bible actually says. So now I know when we get married, I ain't gonna have 3, 4, 5 divorces.
You got rid of them, I'm done.
You see what I'm saying?
I understand, but I know I was a good man. I'm finna go alive now.
Read Tobit 8.
I'm being real.
Go ahead.
Watch this. This is how you pick. Go ahead.
The book of Tobit, chapter 8 and verse 7. And now, O Lord, I take not this wife,
my bad, sister.
And now, O Lord, I take not this sister for lust, but uprightly.
So when you choosing a wife, don't choose her just for lust, meaning, what you see, right? You understand what I'm saying, right? Like he mentioned earlier, a lot of us, if we seen these women out on the street, we wouldn't approach women dressed like that. We'll approach the women that's showing everything, because that appeals to our lust. We're gonna walk, irregardless of age. Let's just say women dress like that. We're gonna walk past them and go towards the woman that's showing everything. But we're walking past the good women. So we do it to ourselves. Go read it again.
7. Okay. And now, O Lord, I take not this my sister for lust, but uprightly. Therefore, mercifully ordain that we may become aged together.
That's the point. How we get to the point we have a strong nation, our marriages, we have to pick women that we're going to last with, grow old with. We don't want a women that we're gonna be with them just because we seen them in the grocery store and they had a.
Yeah, you're right.
That's appealing to our lust. That's picking women for our lust. Yes, ma'am.
I married when I was 17 years old. And me and my husband been together for 60 years. And we had 4 kids together. Brought them up right. And all of us are saved in holiness now.
Okay.
So, in other words, when I married, we didn't know Christ. But I think I was about 28 years old when I found Christ, when I accepted Christ as my Savior.
Okay.
And my husband was too. In other words, you don't know how to live holy if you've never been holy.
Okay.
In other words, people marry, but they don't know Christ. And you don't know how to treat your husband, and you don't know how to treat your children if you don't know Christ. Yeah.
Okay, that's true. You came in a little later. But we was talking earlier about how most of us, we're ignorant to who Christ is, what holiness is, how to be righteous. We're ignorant to that. And that's because we've been taught a false ideology of what the Bible is. A lot of us, the things that are in the Bible, we don't do. We do what religion tells us we should do. The things we went over, Christmas, Sunday worship, all those things we couldn't find in the Bible. Going to church on Sunday. The Bible said go to church on the 7th day. Celebrating Jesus' birthday. We couldn't find that in the Bible. There's a lot of things we couldn't find in the Bible, but we said we was Christians. But we couldn't pinpoint them in the Bible. Easter celebration. We found Passover. We didn't find Easter. So there's a few things you missed on. Oh, the image of Jesus Christ. There's a few brothers that had crosses on with white Jesus on them. We went into the Bible and we read Jesus looked way darker than him right there. Right. He said he had skin that looked like bronze, and that bronze was burnt in a furnace, and his hair was white and woolly. So somebody's been teaching us lies about how to be holy and how to be righteous. It's
different Bible. That's why.
There's different Bibles, different translations. Watch this. Go to some. Let me show you something. Right. This is why we have different Songs of Solomon 1 and 5. And then we'll go to Job 30 and 30. Quick example of why there's different Bibles translations. Right. Watch this.
The book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 5. I am black.
This is Solomon. What is Solomon?
I am black.
Everybody in this book is dark skinned. King Solomon, yes sir, good to meet you.
All right.
King Solomon said he's what?
I am black, but comely.
Comely means beautiful.
O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar.
The tents of Kedar are that color. They're pitch black because they're out in the sun. So they're pitch black. He say, I'm that color. I'm black. Why we never heard Solomon was a black man? That because we have different Bibles, we have religions. When we read NIV, it don't say I'm black. But watch this. Job.
Why other churches preach a different Bible though?
Because church, like we said earlier, church is nothing but all church do is push white supremacy. That's it. Remember, we learned Christianity once we got off the slave ships. We didn't come off the slave ships Christians. Christianity was something that was forced on us. It was either die or you be converted to Christian. Go ahead. And the different denominations, it depends on whatever your slave owner was. Your slave owner was Baptist, you're Baptist. He's Jehovah's Witness, you're Jehovah's Witness. He's Latter-day Saints, you're Latter-day Saints. That's how it worked for us on the plantation. And when we got off the plantation, we just continue with those traditions. Go ahead.
The book of Job, chapter 30 and verse 30. My skin is black upon me.
Job saying he's a black man. Everybody in this book is black, or the chosen people of this book, or people of dark skin. We can't. Everything that we've learned about religion, we can't find it in this book. All right. So that's how they trick us with different translations that take out the words black or dark. Anything that give us an identity of who the people of the Bible is taken out. Now, if I ask you, who are the real Jews? Who's the Jews? Brother man, who's the Jews? Yes, who are the Jews? Who calls themselves Jewish nowadays? Huh? White people, right? White people call themselves Jewish, right? Right? Go to Revelation 2. Are they the real Jews? If they're not, who is? Then we are. Then why are we letting them get away with a lie? Watch this. Go ahead. This is Christ's words.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
Who does that sound like? Read the top part again.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
Who's going to tribulation and poverty on the earth? That look like us. That's us. Go ahead.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
They say they're Jews. They're Jewish. Jewish. That's what they are. They ish. They're not the real Jews. They're ish. If I put ish behind something, if I say his shirt is white-ish, is it truly white? I say your shirt is brown-ish. Is it truly brown? What's your name? Tony. If I say he is childish, is he a child? So when they're saying they're Jewish, they're telling us we're not really the Jews. We're Jewish. We're not Jews. So Christ say they're what?
I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
What's a blasphemy? That's a diabolical lie. So they're lying when they say they're Jews.
And are not.
Christ say they're not the Jews.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
They're what?
The synagogue of Satan.
They're the synagogue of Satan. That's Satan's church hole. That's Satan's children. That's who they are.
Revelation 2 and 9.
That's who they are. They're liars. They stole your identity and they call themselves Jewish. We're the real Jews on the earth. And what we got to do is come back to this book, detach it from religion, and just practice what this book say. All right. What's that? I was gonna give him some time.
Oh yeah.
We wrap up.
Okay.
You need to read it.
I got you.
All right. A couple of Philip and Ace done left. I kind of. I had been talking to the guys a little bit, this week and a few weeks before then. I used to work with this young lady right here, Miss Shirley, and they've been seeing me, put in the work, studying the VAC breaks, reading, trying to get this thing together. We can't just expect to know what righteousness is. We can't. And I was raised up in the church. Most of y'all know that. I was raised up in the church, but I didn't learn what righteousness was. I didn't know. I just thought you don't supposed to curse. I know you didn't supposed to steal or kill and stuff, but I didn't know the righteousness of God. 6 of God. 6 and 30, 25. Deuteronomy 6 and 25. I didn't know what the righteousness of God was. I just thought you're supposed to go to church. Like Eric, I tried reading the Bible before I got around these learned men, but I didn't understand what I was reading. I got in, like Eric said, I got in Revelations. I didn't know what was going on with a dragon, and I didn't know what to think when I saw a snake, a serpent, tricking a woman. I didn't know what to think about that, and then some people said she bit an apple. You can't find apple in the Bible. So it's like I was confused. But this is the righteousness of God right here.
Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God, as he hath commanded us.
All right, so we went over some commandments today. That's the foundation of sound doctrine, the commandments. We go and learn these commandments and start practicing them. That's going to be our righteousness. And in Psalm 111 and 10 tell us that if we want to have a good understanding of the scriptures, or want to have a good understanding of what God will have for us, we must keep the commandments. So that's basically what we're going to sum it up with that. You can give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. But that's basically what we went over our identity. We're the Israelites according to the Bible. Most of our people in here, we're considered black Americans, so that would make us from the tribe of Judah. And what we was just talking about the Jews earlier, Jew is short for Judah. And you can take your phone out right now and look that up. Jew is short for Judah. So that would mean we're the Jews. The black Americans are the Jews. Jesus Christ was from the tribe of Judah. That make him a Jew. So if he was here today, he'll be one of us. You're looking around right now, you're looking at what Jesus Christ would look somewhat like. Even though the scriptures say he's a dark-skinned man. But this is what we're going to wrap it up with.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
So what we teach our identity, who we are, what we're supposed to do, keep the commandments and the faith in Christ Jesus. You got to do both of them together. And this right here.
Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
So that's the whole duty of man and woman. We need to fear God and keep his commandments, and he gonna do the rest. And I hope everybody had got some good understanding today and learned some stuff. Anybody got any questions? Want to say something that you don't agree with anything we talk? All right then. Well, yeah, our contact information is on the flyers. We got a school or church in Bloomingdale, 660 Old River Road, Bloomingdale, Georgia. We have church on Saturdays. Newcomers, we start opening the doors at 3 o'clock. We got our phone number on it. In case you got any questions, you can call that number and we'll answer any questions you might have.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airwaves, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endures.